Kevin, over to you.
Thank you, Madam. The true measure of justice is not how loudly the powerful speak, but how deeply the vulnerable are heard. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to be here today with you uh, as a voice from the continent rich in potential, but constrained by financial system that often treats Africans not as a partner in development, but as a perpetual debtor. Today, we have to dig deep into this, the theme of today of debt, inequality, and development dilemma. Who pays for global debt or justice? I mean, this is not just an academic question. We have to understand that it is the daily lived reality for millions of young people, families, and communities across the global south. Debt is not merely a number, it is a classroom without desks, a clinic without medicine, a youth without opportunity. Under South Africa G20 presidency, the world has a unique opportunity to rethink global financial architecture. We must ask ourselves, why does the pathway to development still feels like a trap? Why do the same nations that contributed the least to global crisis pay the highest prices still? For decades, we have to understand that Africa has walked into development dialogues with strong ideas, but return home with weak outcomes. Yet we remain hopeful because hope is the courage that built nations. We have to understand that. Restored economies and sustained humanity through crisis. To address the development dilemma, we must confront the debt questions head on. Today, Africa countries spend billions each year, not on building hospitals or schools, but on servicing debts accumulated under unequal terms. The result is widening inequality gap and a delayed development agenda. We have to understand that. And a generation forced to inherit financial burdens they never created. So the G20 must lead the world toward a future where the development financial is inequitable, sustainable, and just. We need more than structuring. We need redesign. We need redesign more than relief. We need fairness more than promises. We need system where nations rise together, not as apart. And as we reflect on these challenges, let us also draw from African wisdom the philosophy of Ubuntu. I am because we are. Remind us that global justice is not charity. It is the recognition that prosperity of one region is tied to the well-being of all. If one part of the world is trapped in debt, neglected by climate finance, or suffocated by the unfair markets, then the entire world or the entire global system is unstable. So who pays for this global justice? We all do. But the price must not be disproportional, borne by those already struggling. Justice means balance. Justice means partnership. Justice means financial model that empowers, not improvises. So as South Africa leads the G20, the world must listen not just to what Africa wants, but to what Africa knows. Development is not debt. Development is dignity, my friends. So therefore, we have to understand this, dear leaders, that if the world is a table, justice means everyone sits, everyone eats, and no one leaves starving. I would like to buy the philosophy of Ubuntu economy that teaches us that no nation can rise by standing on the neck of another. If adopted, Ubuntu can transform global finance from a competitive arena into a global, a collaborative ecosystem. I mean, where equitable growth is not as an exceptional, but as a standard. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, the world stands at crossroads. Under the G20 in South Africa presidency, We must choose justice over imbalance, sustainability over exploitation, and Ubuntu over inequality. Because global justice is not paid by weakest. It is built when the strongest chooses fairness. So let us advocate for the good governance in our countries. Let us use the use of the common sense where it is not common. And we have to say that the world is full of good people. If you can't find one, then be the one. Thank you.